the shadows locked inside the mind. MK Ultra memories don't keep us blind.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. Voices we don't see.
It's happening.
Ben, we can't talk over the intro.
They're watching.
Stop it.
They're waiting.
Ben, they can't hear you. It's just me and you right now.
They silence the scream, but we know the lie.
Welcome to Smartly Uneducated, everybody.
That was as natural as it can get, dude. I love
It was
that.
so natural. You have no idea.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Yeah. So welcome, everyone, if anyone's watching yet or not. We have a really fun episode today. And in fact, I don't know shit about it because this is the one in, one out episode. I did last week's where I led the charge on it. Evan went in blind, and now the ball's in his court. I'll switch it over to him because he's eager.
Some would say the buck has been passed on to me. Your favorite, best host, your one and only Evan. The one that everybody cares about, the only one that anybody ever wants to hear talk. That's me. Nobody ever wants to hear Ben actually say words. Usually when he speaks, people usually go mute on the show and usually tune out. So now that I have the show, now it's my show. Now it's my show.
Whoa, dude. You got right up in that thing and you're like, hey, that's mine.
Barreling the camera,
mine.
some would say. That's not what you're supposed to do on camera, is barrel down it.
Oh, I think it's perfectly what you're
But
supposed to
since
do.
it's my show tonight, I'm going to do that. But anyway, we have a very interesting one for you. I know that the show says the Cuban GAY Bomb. That is mostly what we will talk about. But I want to, before we get deep into that, I want to begin to show you how I came about finding this.
Oh, I'm so ready.
Because finding it is kind of funnier than how it actually came to be, and kind of more interesting. Is there anything that you want to bring to the table at the top of the hour? Anything that you that's on the top of your mind right now?
Yes. If you guys end up enjoying the show, please follow us. You know, we like engaging with everyone. And if you don't normally watch content like this on X or whatever, we're on pretty much every platform that's out there. So
name it, we're there.
We don't make money doing this. We do it for fun. So any support helps. Yeah. Shout out to Cody, though. Dude is the best. He was like one of our first real friends we made on here. Shout out to you, Cody. Always. Like the circle of support that's on X, if you get into like kind of like a group of people or anything like that, it's pretty amazing, actually.
It really is. It's really cool.
It reminds me of AOL back in the day when you found the good groups of people, and I felt like, Cody, you're making me nostalgic right now. It's just we don't have to deal with the dial-up anymore.
That's
everybody.
Ben's brain loading. That's the sound of his brain loading, trying to figure out what to say next.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the people on X who supporting us, you're the reason why we keep doing it. Thank you for showing up every single week with us. It may not be the biggest platform. I know we go live when Alex Jones typically does, so it's hard to compete with that, but big shout out to all of y'all out there who come visit us every single week. I know last week our chat was set to only people that we follow can talk. This time it's set to everybody can talk to us.
Yeah.
So feel free to make fun of my little wiener like Cody did last week. Feel free to say some shit and fuck Jerry specifically.
Oh, yes. Oh, Cody just dropped it in there. I was just about to say hashtag fuck Jerry.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. He just dropped it in the chat. Fuck yeah, Cody. Fuck Jerry. Hashtag. Boom. We're going to make that a trending thing. I'm really hoping so.
Well, as we all know, hashtags are gay now, so you don't want to be doing hashtags.
Oh, no, dude. I guess I'm pretty gay. I'm just all I'm going to say, man. Apparently, I'm pretty gay.
Elon has specifically said that don't do hashtags. Also, I can say that, y'all. I have a pink shirt on. I can say those words. Look at me.
You're my favorite.
Look at me.
Dude, you're my favorite flamingo co-host ever.
Favorite flamingo co-host. All right,
you
yeah.
need to stand there with a mic with one leg tucked up.
Which leg?
Well, you're not that well endowed, apparently.
Damn it.
We
Here we go
covered
again.
that well.
Here we go again. So I came across the Gay Bomb, which is the name of the title of the stream today, in a very funny way. I was looking up because I really want to start putting out content that is promoting into like smart people, less dumb people, because dumb people fucking suck.
The way you just said that made you sound so dumb, dude.
And that's okay. And that over here, smartly uneducated, we typically are uneducated before we become smartly.
Oh, that was a ringer right there.
So, with that said, I was looking up Nobel Peace Prize winners, and that is a big time pop filter phrase. The Nobel Peace Prize winners are really not that interesting.
No, they're not.
They're really kind of boring. I'll be honest. Some of them are like, yeah, I figured out how to turn water more tasteful. Cool. Filter
called
it.
sugar, dude.
You filtered it. Awesome. Oh, you realize that sugar is bad for you. Awesome. You get a Nobel Peace Prize. Or it's something
yeah,
really,
dude.
really, really powerful and something that needs to be
It's
shared,
so
right?
powerful, dude. It's really powerful.
But then I came across
What?
the
What'd you come across?
IG Nobel Prize. The IG Nobel Prize Awards. Arguably the dumbest Nobel Prize you can win. It's simply put a stupid concept, or rather, it's achievements for people. The concept first makes you laugh, but then it makes you think.
Oh yeah, it makes you think. Hey,
So it's like, hey, here's my idea. Like the one from last year that won. A bra that can be turned into a face mask.
oh, diaper face.
Not just diaper face, but now you got boob sweat face.
Oh, I love some good tits, dude.
I know you do, Ben.
I love me some boobies, dude. I love some jahoobs.
So I came across this, and that one isn't all that funny, but there are some absolute brain busters in here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one, the feasibility of housing live pigeons inside of missiles to guide the flight path of missiles better.
Whoa.
Now, see, that makes you think, right?
Yeah.
It's stupid, but it makes
I
you
think
think.
that's pretty. Dude, Tits McGee. That's what I would call that. Tits McGee.
So some dude, his name is B.F. Skinner, was like, we got birds, we got bombs. Put them together, what do we got? And someone said, nothing, you fucking moron. But here's an award for thinking of something insane. But the list goes on, and they've been doing this since like 1997.
Whoa.
Oh, they've been doing it.
Wait. You said they've been doing it since. Sorry, I'm mixing it up because wasn't the Cuban? You had.
We'll get
mentioned-
there. We'll
Oh,
get
okay,
there. We'll
okay,
get
okay,
there.
I gotcha.
We'll get there.
I'll leave it be.
So I started going through all of them from 2024 to I made it to 2007, to be honest, and then I kind of stopped. But because this one really popped out at me, and I was like, okay, I gotta look
I
into
love
this
it
shit.
when it pops.
But there was one here. I'm just gonna read a few of these Nobel Peace Prize off to you, or rather the IG Peace Prize. One is, why do old men have big ears? One of my so that means that somebody did a lot of research, like a lot of scientific backed, grant funded research of why do old men have big ears. But there was one here.
Because you got piss poor genetics, baby.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what's going
is that
on.
why?
Bad genetics, dude.
So
Bad
there was
genetics.
one here that says most mammals breathe out of their anus.
Most breathe out of their anus?
Yes.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
The scientific
Just kidding.
The scientific paper is referred to as mammalian internal ventilation abnormalities respiratory failure. So it's a Japanese research paper. They put pigs and other animals like monkeys underwater up to their neck and then had a tube out of their ass into the air and covered their face to see if they were able to breathe air in their ass. And the answer was yes. Yes. Most mammals can breathe oxygen through their anus. And guess who's on that list? Humans. Humans can breathe oxygen out of their anus. And I know Ben does. Because I don't know if you've ever smelt his breath,
Wait,
but good Lord.
Is this like our form of photosynthesis? Just breathing out our assholes.
This is our photosynthesis.
Tastes and smells like shit all the time for some reason.
You're breathing in like, why does my breath always smell like shit? I swear I brush.
You don't brush your ass, apparently. Just damn.
You got to start taking mints for your asshole. But yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so many of them. I'm trying to find the funny ones that I had bookmarked. Let me see. The effects of shouting and cursing while driving an automobile, if it makes you happier or not. The intake of human cannibalism diet is significantly lower than caloric intake than most traditional meat diets. So eating human meat is healthier than eating most meats.
Get the.
Also, how did they find that out, Ben?
I don't know. How did they find it out?
Who was eating the human meat? Where did they get the meat?
I'm pretty sure that means somebody was eating somebody.
Yeah, but where'd they get the meat? Who?
They made them get a bunch of real hung dudes and drop the trousers. They let out the trouser snakes. And that's where they got their first taste of meat. And they went full werewolf. Everyone knows, just so you know. Sorry, I'm just throwing this in there and then I'll leave it be. But oh my gosh, I just screwed that up real bad. Lycanthropy is, just it just means you're gay.
Let's just get to the point.
Yeah, it just means you're gay. It just, that's why everyone like back in the day, and that's why they made up the lore of lycanthropy. And they're like, oh, it's a full moon. Because I bet you some dude who everyone thought was straight got caught doing some things with another dude. Like butt bumpers, you know what I mean?
Butt bumpers?
Butt bumping.
Oh.
Butt bumpers. Bumper car with their butts. Anyways, yeah. It just like they got caught and they're just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And then they just looked at the moon. They're like, it's the full moon. It makes me transform. What you thought you saw me humping a guy, really I was trying to transform and devour him. It's basically just they just said lycanthropy was a thing just to cover up being gay. Because that's why when that full moon comes out, baby, people get a little bit more feisty.
Well, thank you for
watch out for dudes if you're straight.
Thank you for filling in a few moments
mindless.
while I find the funny ones again. So there are sections to the award. So you have like medicine, medical education, biology, anatomy, chemistry, and so on and so forth. Engineering, right?
Yeah.
All the different fields of science. In 2019, in the Netherlands, they did research collecting evidence that pizza might protect against illness and death if pizza is made and eaten in Italy. So the research paper is, does pizza protect you from cancer? Let that one sink in for a second.
Does pizza does it though?
No. The answer is no.
Is it because there's no pineapple on it?
The answer is if it's made in America, absolutely not. If it's made
if it's made in America, absolutely.
If it's made in Italy, possibly because they have better ingredients and so on and so forth, right? They actually use natural good ingredients for you because they have laws against the fact. But eating pizza, I'll say it right here, does not protect you against cancer. Don't do that, everybody. That's bad. That's not good.
It's not good.
But I read through so many of these, and I just kept going, and they kept getting more and more bizarre. There's one, I'm blanking on it right now. I had a list of them, and there's just so many to go through. But there's one in 2007, an engineering feat that really caught my eye.
What was this engineering feat?
It was made by the Wright Laboratory in Ohio.
Were they right?
No, they were very wrong.
Oh, okay.
The Wright Air Force Base in Ohio, and they called it the Gay Bomb. And I had to...
Wait, it was 2007? I thought it was... Am I getting dates mixed up in my head because I don't know this shit?
Yeah, exactly. You're just getting mixed up in your
okay.
So the award was given to them in 2007. And I immediately had to do a deep dive into this. And every single one of these has a link to a document and a paper and a reference scientific sheet besides this one. This one had no evidence based around it other than the Pentagon denying it to be used in any sort of lethal manner.
Mm-hmm.
And the Wright Laboratory approached the Pentagon about it in 1994.
Okay, that's where I got mixed up.
But in 2007, they got given the IG Nobel Prize for stupidest engineering idea, but it makes you think, how can we do this?
Wait, was the title actually stupidest engineer? Because that's not, I believe that's not proper grammar.
It's not proper grammar?
Oh, whoa, dude.
The gay bomb's getting to me, dude.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, so they were just doing investigative research to develop any sort of non-lethal chemical weapon that they can use during warfare that isn't against the Geneva Convention. They were trying to do it for a very long time. In fact, they tried to do it in like 1940, 1950. They were trying to create any sort of non-lethal weapons. And they came up with quite a few of them to then promote and push toward the Pentagon and the FBI and the CIA to then get funding to make them.
Mm-hmm.
But as we know, that never happened. Unfortunately, the gay bomb was never made. But a lot of research
Are
went
we
in.
sure it wasn't made?
No, so we're gonna get there, buddy.
Okay, because
we're gonna get there.
it's making me think of the Canadian fruit machine. Remember that episode?
Yes.
Or remember, we talked about that a long time ago,
Yes.
but it makes me think of the the Canadian fruit machine, because it was, of course, the United States government was involved again with that one, with Canada, where they were basically tried to make a machine that you basically strap some dude into, and it would tell you if they're gay.
Yeah, so
Because they would put images of dude, like it would show you they would put up like a slideshow basically, and this is how they would determine if you're gay or not. They would
putting up Tom of Finland photos.
yeah, yeah, with the big old bulge. But yeah, no, they would put up these images, and it'd be like normal stuff, like maybe a meadow or something like that, or it would be, you know, like a house with a white picket fence, and all of a sudden the next slide that switches on is just a big old cock.
Shit.
I'm not kidding. It would just be this big old fat hairy cock, just angry looking with all the veins in the world, and they would just stare at the dude. Like the moment it pops up, what is on the other side of the guy sitting there? There's probably like this.
What's he doing? What's he doing? Huh?
That's basically how they described it, is that they would flash these images and then they would have one real gay fucking image in there, and they would just be like up close watching his face, like did he smile?
Does he have a boner?
Did he start to sweat because he got
Aroused.
oh, dude.
That was good, right? That was good, right?
Jinx.
That was good.
Now you got to buy me a Coke or not talk to the
Thankfully,
kids.
the full moon was a
Wait.
few days ago. We're not kissing yet.
Damn it.
I know our fans
tried.
are looking forward to that one, dude.
Oh, they're so.
But so
Cody just said, posted into the chat saying, feels like the gay bomb went off recently.
no,
Sir,
you're absolutely right. So
You're absolutely right.
So I will definitely get to that, Cody. So there is a lot of evidence saying that they are actually using this sort of technology in lines with what is going on
Can
in our
I interject
sort of political
one time?
world today. Yeah.
and I'll leave
You
it
can
alone.
inject all you want.
Okay, cool. I love injecting. Dude.
I knew
Hell
some
yeah,
gay
dude.
shit was coming from that.
Hey, that can be used with the women's too.
Yeah, they can be gay too.
Ouch. No, I was just gonna say that the reason why Evan chose this particular topic today is because this is a fitting topic and narrative for coming out of the closet. No?
What?
Or, wait. Oh, I thought that's why you chose it. Never mind. Back to you, Bill.
That's not at all what I chose. My wife says differently. I promise you that, buddy.
Cover up.
CIA,
CIA, dude. CIA, cover up, dude. You're an implant.
It's getting hot in here.
You're an implant. Take off all your clothes.
No, we ain't doing no Nelly shit up in here.
Oh, I didn't even sing it like Nelly, but I
You sing
put a
like R.
twist.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Whoa, hey.
Yeah, dude. I'm like that. I'm like one step away from like Samuel L. Jackson.
So what
laying
was
you
I
down by
talking
the
about before you
fireplace.
injected?
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna shut up now. Everyone else enjoy the show. And Cody, yes, it's very gay in here right now.
So, where was I? So the gay bomb, right? 1994, the Wright Laboratory put forth a non-lethal weapon because the Pentagon was requesting different sort of weapons that they could use to deter enemies. And this is coming fresh off the Gulf War. So they're like, we are done killing right now, at least. How do we combat our enemies in a nicer manner? So they came up with all these different tactics. They thought of the halitosis bomb, which means to induce bad breath. So they wanted to find a way that they can make their enemies in the battlefield have bad breath so that they wouldn't get close to one another and potentially lose the war or defect because of bad breath. Sounds insane, right?
Yeah.
If you have bad breath, well, I'm sorry, I haven't brushed my teeth in a week. I've been shooting guns and camping. Forgive me. Then they had the flatulent bomb. Yes, you heard that right. The fart bomb. I know in middle school I used those little fart capsules. I don't know if that's the same technology.
And those fart capsules,
but
dude.
They wanted to spray a chemical over the battlefield that would then create excessive flatulations.
Excessive.
Now, that's what the actual Pentagon paper said that was sent over from Wright Laboratory. And they also want to do the insect attractor bug, which this one...
Insect attractor bug.
I don't know what this fucking radio shit you're doing.
Rerun.
A flatulation bomb.
Give it up for Rebecca.
Halitosis bomb.
Halitosis.
But yeah, so the insect attractor bug sounds more of like a realistic concept to me.
It sounds like a weird sexual fetish.
So if
There's
they
an
were,
OnlyFans for everything, man.
if they, well, I mean, they got feetonly.com, baby.
Yo, you back off them feet. Some people like
gotta
everyone
get
fucks
off that
funny to
website,
somebody, dude.
Everybody fucks funny to
Somebody,
somebody.
yeah. I guarantee.
Is that a? Did you mean to say Bugs Bunny to somebody?
No. Everybody fucks funny to somebody. Means you may think that you fuck normally, and then all of a sudden, someone else finds out you fucking like, that's weird. Why aren't you fucking a feet? Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's into something different. You never know. So don't judge a book by its cover.
I cry when I have sex, and that's normal, right? That's normal. Hey, right, guys? Hey, come on, Chad. Tell me that's normal, right?
He was raised a devout old school Catholic, and he realized that every time he ejaculated, that was little people dying.
I was
Many, by count thousands, and the counts of thousands.
the genocide every time.
You killed a bunch of little bitty babies.
Is that what
That's how they look at it.
is that what abortion is?
Rewind. I'm gonna turn time back over to you and get back to the topic.
Gotcha. So there is a scientific basis because they had these 3 bombs: the halitosis, the flatulation, the insect attractor, and then they produced the gay bomb papers, as I like to refer to them as, because it's hysterical. I couldn't find an actual PDF of the file. I looked for the past week and a half because I brought this up to Ben last week before he did the Orion Wars. And I've been scouring for these papers, but I just keep finding JPEGs of just like sections of it. But the idea is pretty cement. So,
Cement.
what is this radio shit?
Well, no, you said cement, so it made me think.
So your
of,
autism kicked in. You had to say the word that you hear.
Hey, don't judge me, motherfucker.
So what they wanted to do was create a gas emitter or ejector that they would attach to planes and fly over the battlefield. Now, does this sound familiar to you, considering what happened at Hurricane Helene? I think this should spark a little point for your brain here.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to attach tanks onto these planes and fly over battlefields and other sort of angry societies and spray a feminine pheromone over the crowd. And I'll get into what they had inside of it in a little while. And you will definitely be like, holy shit, this is real.
So basically, just like a bunch of aphrodisiacs. That's it.
No.
Oh, I'm saying like the effects of aphrodisiacs.
Yeah, so what they wanted to do is have that.
Is that essentially a part of it, though? Because it's like they're dropping all these different chemicals to do all these different sensations. Would that be like, well, what I'm asking is like, did they basically make like a chemical concoction to act like aphrodisiacs, just like to the 10th power? Is that
Yeah,
what
so
you mean?
the idea they had behind it was to create a bomb, quote unquote bomb, to then spray over the battlefield or explode above the battlefield to then make everybody super horny and want to have sex with each other and stop fighting.
Dude, that's tight.
Plain and simple. That was the entire paperwork. And now we can do the end of the episode.
Nice.
So the idea, simply put, is we want to have the soldiers fuck each other and stop fighting. Right? So
Yeah.
the fact that they think that soldiers are so desperate to have sex that the second they're like, oh, uta, we no more guns, just sex.
No more guns, dude.
I mean, I kind of get it, but that's kind of silly. They're trained professionals to fight and kill, or fight and do the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like a little aphrodisiac. They're gonna want to fuck, not kill.
Can I ask
Make
you
love, not war.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Just for like
You keep doing it, so yeah.
Well, no, this has to do with the actual like flow of the topic, just so I can kind of like put my head in the right headspace for like the order of how you're gonna lay it out.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
So, where are you planning on going? Like, like, are you doing like kind of like the birth of it and how it developed, just kind of like into reality of what's going on, like into modern times now, or are you kind of like jumping around timeline wise to what's relevant to bring up, you know, because it's talking about this, which ties into this part over here or something.
Well,
I'm just curious. So that
based
way I can
off
follow.
of what you're requesting, the questions of me, because you're jumping ahead in my research in general, is every time you ask me a question, I answer it.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I continue from there. But the research and paperwork that I had and all this stuff, it was basically from the precipice and the idea from the right laboratory and the history behind it and how it failed, and then how it is being used today in society and the chemicals that they put inside of it to then be used in potentially what we see today.
Okay, got you.
So I've already talked about how I found it, and that was because they got the IG Nobel Prize in 2007, and that sparked a huge debate in military questions and the ethics of what should be used in warfare and with the psychological aspect of it as well, right? So there was a lot of discussion of, is being gay okay? And is being gay bad? And why does that affect the warfare? And then Bill Clinton was like, don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
So 1994, they were like, hey, gay bomb. Bill Clinton's like, don't ask, don't tell about gays. And then Cuba was like, transsexuals, gays, and everybody can fight in the war. I don't care. So they all were consistently going around this idea and aspect of gay, gay, gay.
Gay.
Which makes me think that they were actually using some sort of chemicals to do this.
Yeah.
So then I went into the chemical aspect of how they would be able to force this upon people. And it was based around ingestion, inhalation, and skin contact. And the biggest chemical that they had inside of it, you'll never guess what it was, Ben.
What was it?
It's Alex Jones' favorite chemical. Atrazine.
Freaking wrong, gay!
So yeah, that is right, ladies and gentlemen. Atrazine in 1994 is when they said they wanted to put that into a sort of gas bomb and lay it over top of battlefields and battleground states and countries.
Diabolical.
And they're still telling us today that atrazine has nothing to do with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then why would they want to put it into a chemical to spray over? And they also would use salt compounds, much like they used in HARP, to create salt seeding clouds to create tornadoes, hurricanes, storms. Now let me ask you, what would be stopping them from putting it in to clouds today?
Yeah, cloud seeding with that shit.
Exactly right.
Chemtrails. Oh, dude.
That's exactly right.
Everyone was worried about chemtrails for all the wrong reasons.
It's gay trails, dude.
Next thing you know, you're going to be outside just walking your dog in the park. You're just going to be walking around like, what a beautiful day. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see a dude out of nowhere. Just be like, I kind of like his ass. Kind of like his face. In fact, I think I like from head to toe. Like head, shoulders, knees, and toes, baby.
That's right.
Next thing you know, you're gay. You didn't have a choice in it. My body, my choice. Wait, that's the wrong movement.
That's the wrong movement.
Oops. You know what? I'm going to digress and turn time back over to you before I get in trouble.
That's fine. That's fine. So
I did have a question, though,
Yeah,
to
go-
ask on
camera
behalf
back on
of
you,
the
yeah.
audience here,
Yeah.
in case anyone was curious about it. So when you brought up the like the chemical part of it, I went ahead and just did a quick search since I don't know shit about it.
atrazine.
Well, yeah, atrazine's in it, but so it did pop up a thing talking about sorry, I hope I pronounced this correctly. Androstenone?
Androstenone.
Yeah, and copulins, however you say that. Sorry, because it just says that they explored compounds like androstenone and copulins as potential human pheromones.
Correct.
And then it just says, like, however, no substance has been conclusively shown directly influence human behavior in a manner that would support the gay bomb.
And a really cool fact about
So I was just curious.
And a really cool fact
Yep.
about androstenone is that it's found in boar saliva, celery, and truffle fungus.
Wait, so if I eat celery,
You might be attracted to dudes.
Or it might be attracted to vegetables.
All right, you vegetable
Yeah,
fucker.
dude. Dude, when I see a girl roll by in a wheelchair,
Forget about
dude,
it.
I turn into Han Solo, where he's like, where they're like, all right, dude, let's get on home. And he's like, woo! Just like that.
That's a great impression.
Dude, thank you, man.
That's a great impression.
Thanks, man. I've been working on it
It's
since I
easy
was
to
like,
just scream, huh?
since I was like 8. It used to sound like this. Woo!
Oh God, going through puberty. Huh?
I'm like, it's like, it basically was the sound of it as if Scooby Doo had Down syndrome.
Give me your Scooby Doo with Down syndrome impression. Oh, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocky Roo.
That I'm gonna shut the fuck up now.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, they put pheromones in it inside of it with atrazine and salt compound that they use today in HARP.
Oh, they're
since
always putting
1930,
salt in the
1940, right?
wounds. Yep.
So, with that in mind, atrazine has been known to change mammals' sexes, and they came out with that. They came out and verified that not too long ago, actually.
Yeah.
And
Turn a freaking frog.
so atrazine,
I can hear an army of Alex Jones right now across across the whole multiverse.
cue the stomping sound.
Yeah, dude. All I'm seeing is lightning shooting out of his eyes with graphics, and he's just going like this, and he's going, turn a fucking frog's gay. That's all I'm hearing, and constant echoes and reverbs across the multiverse.
And instead of ribbit, you hear ribbit.
Oh, hey, just let me get my tongue on that. Yay! Like,
So atrazine by itself has a very short half life into humans, but anyway, so they've already done studies to figure out if it is going to be something that they could use in a warfare scenario with chemicals and to create a sort of blasé, more feminine battlefield, which is, to me, fucking crazy. They've already done studies to see if it would turn the enemies away from combat.
Mhm.
But instead of finding out if it turns them gay, it did some adverse effects. Like for women, it has menstrual irregularities.
So obviously, then it had, these are steroid driven compounds all across the board.
Absolutely, right.
Every single one of them would be then, because if it's doing something that's going to affect menstrual cycles and things
It
like
affects
that.
the male's body as well.
Yeah,
It does,
yeah.
does a lot of things. It creates cancer. It has a neurotoxicity aspect to it as well.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of different adverse effects.
Dude, you know, all I can think right now when you tell me about it, you know, the Canadian fruit machine, you know, that they did in Canada,
yeah.
that was one thing. But this is chemical warfare,
It
right?
is. It is
so
absolutely
it's like,
chemical warfare.
thinking about that just makes me think of Plum Island, you know, because that's where they had the disease center or control center, you know, where they test all these things, which everyone, if you don't know shit about Plum Island, should be very curious. Go check out our episode on it.
Yeah, it
if
was
you
awesome.
want to learn about that fucked up shit. But the thing is that it makes me think of Plum Island, because when they test horrible things like that and, like, you know, do these type of build these types of biological weapons, well, they have to test them.
Yeah, they absolutely
That means
do.
they got to test them on somebody, and I guarantee you, there is a huge probability, just because of what I know about Plum Island and the details of that shit and the fucked up things they were doing to people there.
The Nazi scientists that were there.
And the Nazi scientists that we brought over who were there, which Plum Island is an island right off of Maine.
It's off of
Or
New York.
New York. Well, New York and Connecticut, like
Yep.
all up in that area. It just makes me think of that, because I wonder if it's got tested there before they did it, like tested on subjects in those containment cells.
I can almost
that they would have in
guarantee.
the
I can almost
bunkers.
guarantee you, the Center for Disease Control at Plum Island's laboratory was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely, government. We'll do any grant you want, and oh, you want to give us $100 million to test atrazine effect on the human body and also rats and other animals? Sure, why not?" And then the research came back inclusive, and they ended up finding out that it has adverse effects, including making people more feminine. Guilty. But the gay bomb itself never became something that was funded or was ever put to test in battlefield, so they say. There is a lot of Pentagon papers saying, no, we didn't do this. No, we didn't do this. Yes, it was funny. No, we didn't do this. It didn't receive any money. There was no further research conducted. The Air Force and the broader military community largely dismissed the idea of it being practical or unethical.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's weird,
Yeah.
right? That little unethical. It's pretty unethical.
It's very unethical.
But the Air Force, the Air Force is like, it's not unethical. It's a thought.
It's a thought.
However, they tried to sort of brush it under the radar because they're like, whatever. But then FOIA requests started happening, and they all came out into the table, and now everybody knows about it because of FOIA. But the biggest thing about it is the atrazine, right? I personally did not think that this gay bomb was going to bring me down a rabbit hole of atrazine. But I kept going deeper and deeper into it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lot of adverse effects that it has on the human body and on the animal body as well, and that they use it in large quantities. I know that you all hear RFK Jr. and Alex Jones talking about it in our water system and in our water supply, but it's in our food, it's in our drink, it's in a lot of things. And they started putting it in our food and drink in like 2008 after the IG Nobel Prize came to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Which, holy shit, everything sort of lines up as to why people are becoming more gay.
Yeah, I saw this thing pop up when I did my search earlier, and there was a thing talking about how that there is a theory with the gay bomb that it was used on a populace, and during its testing, and then it's also implementation of actually utilizing it. Apparently, and that's why they titled this "Unintended Consequences." It says here that a lot of people think that there is cross-contamination with unintended targets.
Yeah.
And then they were directly talking about the United States itself. That's a theory I just saw pop up. I'm just looking at it right now.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I just didn't know if like you heard. I know that's like since there's always theories about everything, folks. So it's one of those things is that when you do your research, I know you probably breezed over a lot of people's random theories because you're trying to actually get
something.
Details.
So I was getting something.
Yeah, you're trying to get like actual either evidence or circumstantial evidence. Actually get the details of everything.
Absolutely.
I just figured I'd ask if you came across that stuff.
Yeah.
Because if that's true, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it was done in Plum Island. It wouldn't surprise me because they test that shit on people.
So a very specific place where they tested it at was Cuba. They sprayed it over Cuba in a sort of HARP mentality cloud seeding idea.
I thought you were about to say that they spread it across Cuba with the plane,
Yeah.
in a heart-shaped fashion, like they left smoke trails in a heart.
That'd be cute. That'd be cute. It'd be very fitting.
Love you. Have a great time. Like, as you're flying away. These dudes have got no idea what's about to happen to them. That one's gonna have some sore fucking asses tomorrow morning. I'll tell you what, dude.
So the main project that they referred to it as was Project Sunshine. Now, pretty much everything about Project Sunshine has been wiped from the internet entirely. You cannot find anything related to Project Sunshine, which is where they sprayed chemicals on top of Cuba and other locations to see the effects, if it actually did anything or not. Which, as I have mentioned twice now, it did. It turned people a little feminine. It turned people really feminine. And it had a really adverse effect to the female population, the animal population, and the male population.
Next thing you know, everybody was wearing American Eagle jeans and
and pink shirts and gray flat brim hats.
Off of Pink. Pink is confidence, bro. Look at you right now.
Oh, dude, I love this fucking shirt. It's
I'm not
free,
gonna
baby.
lie, dude. I've been very scared for my butt since you walked into the studio with that shirt.
I thought you were going to say ever since you met me.
Well, Cody did say earlier that. Oh my God! I just saw a chat from Cody. Cody just said that I always thought Cubans were gay. I'm glad this confirms it.
Dude, that's funny you say that.
Dude, it's pretty gay.
That's funny you say that because Cuba has become a very heavy gay population ever since 1995.
Whoa!
I
wonder how that happened.
It's like a gay haven. A lot of homosexual people go there.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty gay,
something to keep in mind, considering the Pentagon received a research paper saying, hey, we should make this gay bomb, and they're like, no, never. Yeah, give me that, and see what we can do with this.
Yeah, that's pretty gay.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Okay, well, you said that was pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Well, I have a bunch of questions
Okay, yeah,
about
please.
some random things, and even if you don't have an answer,
We can get it.
we can get it because I've been very curious about a bunch of stuff ever since I did that one search. It's opened up a door to a bunch of other things. So real quick before I change where we were, I want to backtrack just a brief second to what you just got done talking about, which was the chemical components
Yeah. Okay.
of this. So looking at this here, so I pulled up this deal that I have a bit more information now in front of me. So the pheromone-like compounds that are supposedly in it are they're steroid derived, obviously, because we just I realized that when you were talking about the messing with the menstrual cycle and
that's
men
right,
and
that's right.
with the women and men and all that stuff. Apparently they're like so these steroids, so these things were made. It wasn't well, obviously they were made, but what I'm trying to get at is that it's not like they took from what I'm seeing right here and from what you said, androstenone and androstenol,
Okay. Yep.
they're like two different steroids that are inside this concoction.
They're same, but
They're same but different.
Yeah, they're on a smaller scale, just a little bit different on the
Yeah.
actual chemical level.
Got you. So it says here that they basically had to take these two different steroid-derived compounds and then put them, basically remake them again into an aerosolized form, to basically trigger a psychological or behavioral response, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The scientific side, that's just saying it just for because it was in front of me. But copulins, it says here that copulins are found in vaginal secretions. These are thought to subtly affect male hormonal responses in certain mammals. And I believe you had mentioned something along those lines.
Not vaginal.
Not with copulins.
No.
But you had mentioned the stuff with the mammals and, like...
Correct. Yeah. So the effects that the chemicals that they sprayed had on mammals and things of that nature as well.
Okay, so
yes.
the copulins are the reason for that.
I did not know
apparently.
that. Thank you for telling me that. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Sorry,
I knew the
I love science, so I'm just like
I knew
the chemicals thing came
I
out.
knew the adrostenol and the adrostenon. I knew that those two were a huge playing factor because those are the male pheromones and female pheromones together to create a sort of sexual combination to make these people want to be with each other.
Yeah, and so apparently the copulins and the androstenone and androstenol were both the main. Well, all three of those were the main candidates for the pheromone-like compounds, specifically due to the fact that it says here is that when they are given to people, it is basically it creates a hypnotized type effect on behavior.
Yes.
Which is interesting. I know you had mentioned you didn't say those words, but you were kind of everything you were alluding to earlier when you're talking about this influence. Obviously, it's like kind of like a hypnotized
That's fair. Yeah, that's
physical
fair.
behavior. No, it's just it's interesting because there's like synthetic aphrodisiacs that they created
Correct.
specifically for this as well.
And then that's what they would put inside of the chemical compound that they would then spray. And adrostenol is what you're going to find inside of the male sweat. That is what women find attractive. So they mix that with the female pheromones, androstenone, I believe. And then you mix those together, you got something a little bit spicy. And then you put in the atrazine into it. So now you have a concoction that's going to make people want to, as they wanted to, potentially have sex with each other and become very attracted to one another, not want to fight. And it technically worked. So
I love it.
And here we are today, right?
Yeah. So like it says here that oh my gosh, I'm about to burp. It's sneaking up on me.
He's about to bust.
I'm sorry, I felt like I was burp. It went away, everybody. So it says here. So this is with the synthetic side of the chemicals. So synthetic estrogens and testosterone derivatives were implemented into this synthetic aphrodisiac concoction that they made, or synthetic that they made. And basically what they did is they basically took something that was real, took elements of it, and then recreated it and tested it. And it's an artificial cocktail of estrogenetic or androgenetic substances to literally disrupt normal sexual behavior responses. Interesting. Which it says, you know, because you were talking about the hormonal imbalances, and it was talking. It says it right here that, you know, that it would cause hormonal imbalances that would influence mood, arousal, and attraction. But what makes it all go together? Well, actually, I'll wait to say what that is. Well, actually, it's only relevant to the aphrodisiacs and the pheromone compounds, but they use oxytocin enhancers. So they created a artificial oxytocin bonding hormone. So it could play the role as the bonding agent for all of it together, all the different all those chemicals.
I did not know
together.
that. That's fascinating. I didn't find that.
Yeah, it just sorry. I was like, I had to click on this other thing and then this other thing, and then boom, here.
See,
Boom.
like as I mentioned while I was doing my brief overview of the actual content that I came to the table with, now we're talking about it, is the effects that the gay bomb had and the concept that it was trying to provide to the U.S. military and the special operations units and what have you, was that these chemicals can alter people's sexuality. And they ended up using it for nefarious acts across the world and in our own country.
Nefarious.
So atrazine can be found in small quantities in a highly concentrated value in our atmosphere and over our country at this moment. Now, if that isn't a damning display of what they are using these chemicals and this concept for, I don't know any other way to tell you, the viewer, that they are actually using this material to hopefully sway your idea. And then they take it to other effects like your diet. So they don't want you to eat any meat. They want you to have a vegetarian, vegan lifestyle. So you're very calm and like no testosterone being pushed through your body, only estrogen. So, and that's just another aspect of it all as well, right? That's a whole nother topic though. That's for Jade Gulanello to come on and talk about.
Oh hell yeah, dude. I love Jay. Jay's awesome. Real quick though, I do want to. It's about the chemical setup, and this is my last little. Or I have two little things I just found on it, and this has to do with the psychotropic agents that were used in it, which are like MDMA like compounds.
That's right. I forget. Yeah, you're right.
Looks like according to this, they did so, and just so anyone knows, so like ecstasy is a good example of an MDMA compound, but if you don't know what an MDMA compound does to you or what ecstasy does, basically what it does is it basically enhances like empathy and emotional responses, which affect your sexual side of things. So like that's why a lot of people will be like, oh dude, let's take some X and like go party and blah blah blah,
dance and rub on each other,
and then they go out there and they're like everything feels amazing, like your sensational response with your senses are all like 20-fold, and so it just like it gives you this feeling of like everything is amazing, euphoricness that's out the ass. So that's why, like, you know, some people say, hey, don't have sex on ecstasy. I'm sure you've heard that at some point in time. They say, hey, it may ruin sex for you when you're not on ecstasy, all this stuff like that. You know, anyways. So there's those types of MDMA compounds in it. But what they did also to make the MDMA compounds work more efficiently is that they took other neuromodulators into the chemical mixture. And basically what these neuromodulators did is that these compounds basically skewed your serotonin, dopamine, and GABA pathways, which is GABA pathways.
GABA.
Because when you alter and skew those, what it would do is that, and this is just going into like just neurology in general, which I already knew this about these, is that it would cause inhibit your natural production and what the chemical levels are in your body of those things. And if they get really fucked up and out of whack, it changes your whole emotional response to
emotional
everything.
Response.
Emotional damage. So it's really weird because according to this, if all three of those are being if these neuromodulators are being used, then basically increases extremely increases to the 10th power the likelihood of those who are administered it behaviors associated with attracting and bonding. So you bring in those other hormones and manipulation into play, and then you couple it with the MDMA stuff and then the neuromodulators. You're gay. You just went gay, bro. It's gonna make you gay.
Now,
or what if it doesn't make you gay? What if it makes you a hybrid?
like super straight.
Yeah, dude.
That makes you hybrid, makes you bi.
You look at one chick and you're just like, she could beat me up and want nothing to do with it.
I imagine that it's being used to make the men in society more complacent.
Yeah.
So the overlying aspect that I have come to terms with the research that I've done and the aspects of coming across all this stuff is that the evidence all points to it's being used. Atrazine is in our atmosphere. The pheromone chemicals are used in most everyday products when it comes to lotions and sort of perfumes. And they had it in a chemical spray that they were spraying over top of Cuba and other countries to push off a mean testosterone-fueled rage of battle. Now, if you look at our society as a whole, all of these sort of feminine ideas are coming to a very broad-facing front in the men community in a lot of aspects in the younger and the millennial society as well, right?
Yeah.
I did not know all of those scientific bonds that you just proffered up to us and how they all attach to one another. That is incredibly fascinating.
I love science, so that's why anytime we end up doing different topics and stuff, that's why I always like getting nit and gritty.
Absolutely.
Because it's let's understand this.
It just makes me look at the broader picture of it all even more. Because as I was doing the research on the gay bomb, there isn't a whole lot of data surrounding it because they keep saying that there isn't any evidence of it being done, but then they talk about it being used and they keep backtracking and lying and changing the idea about it. But then we look at the different chemicals that were in it and how it is used in today's society right now, and that some of these chemicals are in our current breathable atmosphere. It's insane.
Yeah. I have a question.
I probably don't have an answer.
When you were doing your research, my gosh, that burp wants to come up, but it just keeps changing his mind the last second.
It's gonna come out as a fart,
dude. It's that's gonna sound like.
That's what it's gonna sound like.
So, did you come across a group called the Sunshine Project?
Yeah. So the Sunshine Project.
Okay.
That's
why I wanted to bring it up.
The actual website itself, the sunshine-project.org, has been wiped from the internet. I cannot have any access to it.
Really?
I looked for days for
That's
any
weird.
sort of thing. Did you happen to find something as we were sitting here?
No. It just says here what I just found. And it's a tiny little thing. It just says that it was brought to the whole Cuban gay bomb thing was brought to the public attention by the Sunshine Project, which is apparently they are a watchdog group focused on biological weapons control through a Freedom of Information Act request.
Correct.
So
I was going to
FOIA.
I wanted to have that be one of our topics in the future is just the Sunshine Project because it is by itself very cool.
Yeah.
But it is completely wiped from the internet. If you just Google Sunshine Project, you're not going to find anything. If you DuckDuckGo, you're not going to find anything.
Yeah, I wasn't finding shit.
It's gone.
This is all I could
It's
find
been
about
wiped.
it.
The only trace evidence that I found about it was on like deep forums on the internet of them just talking about, the Sunshine Project is real, still going on. And then on the IG Nobel Prize, the actual title for the project related to the gay bomb, which is titled Harassing, Annoying, and Bad Guy Identifying Chemicals, is directly linked to the sunshine-project.org's website, which you cannot get to.
Really?
No matter how many VPNs you have on, no matter how
it just doesn't exist. Does it just say that the URL that you're trying to reach doesn't exist, or is it saying that your request was denied to reach this domain?
Denied and no access.
Oh, well then it's locked down, man. That means you can't. That means it's not that the URL doesn't exist. It means it does exist. It's just you don't have the. It's kind of like setting up an
I don't have the
FSTP
credentials. Yes.
set up.
Yes.
So you don't have access. You're not going to be able to even get to that URL. It's going to be irrelevant to you and your system. Anyway, sorry, I don't work in IT at all.
I take it back. I take it back.
Oh,
The website doesn't exist. Security alert, beware when you continue to download. So it takes you to a Privacy Shield browser.
that's interesting.
It's all gone, baby.
It's weird that it would still put up the Privacy Shield. Anyways, that's a conversation for a different time. I'm about to go into the nerd talk, guys.
Which I'm sure some people would like, but
Yeah, for sure.
that's for a different day.
One of the things I was looking at in here was, other than the Sunshine Project, so where did it go? I just had it in front of me. Dang it, where'd it go? I literally would. I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll and find
You're
it.
good, you're good.
It said, oh, okay, that was it. It was saying, it says here, and I don't know if this is actually where this information is truly coming from, but the way it looks here is, it looks like an anonymous person is saying that, and doing wrong. I saw some other things about this as well, but it wasn't as detailed. But overall, his shit is lining up with something else, and his post is like from 5 years prior to that. This is from 2003. This guy made this post.
Well, yeah, that's 9 years after they came out with the papers, and just 4 years before they got the award.
Yeah, in 2003. But it wasn't even public knowledge at the time.
Yeah.
But it says here that the person, he claims to have been a part of it, and it's just a random person online. But he says the problem that they had is that it overlooked the complexity of human behavior, and then he says, including the diversity of sexual orientations with individual responses to chemical agents.
I did find that. Yes, I did. Okay, see that.
I would say it's a random thing. I don't even know if it's credible.
I did see that while I was searching around. There's a lot of X posts about it as well. I say a lot, maybe like 6, but a lot of it is a bunch of, well, gay people saying this isn't true. This isn't how it works. But there are evidence in the
Cody
contrary.
commented on here.
If you take away the male testosterone instincts, you can control society much easier,
Yes,
which
you
is
can.
what my underlying argument for this entire debate is if they're trying to make you feminine, you're controlled. They don't want a big, beefy, testosterone-fueled man.
Well, I mean, perfect example is look at our country right now.
That is what it
look
comes
at it
down to.
over the past 10 fucking years. All these dudes that have been like these new generation of kids I've been seeing in high school, and it's like,
Wait,
when I was in school,
why have you been seeing them in high school?
I
Ben?
got kids, man. I got to pick up my kids from school, and I've seen the little cunts they go to school with. Oh, damn it! I just said the C word for the first time on this episode.
I'm proud of you.
Feeling good about it too. It rolled off the tongue nice. If anyone doesn't like the word cunt, oh, that's number 2. I'll leave it at 2. But anyone who doesn't like that word, you should rethink your life decisions, because it rolls off the tongue nice. Because every language, out there, like German, they don't even have to like be saying anything that's a curse word. They could be saying, "How are you today?" Which is a little bit, just slightly aggressive. Just the natural way that language sounds comes off aggressive.
That was my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
So dumb. But it's just like, in the English language, it's like our stuff doesn't sound like rough and tumble, like aggressive. But when you say cunt and you get the and put that on the end, dude, the cunt, it just rolls off the tongue fucking nice.
My favorite part is the unt. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, cunt. Dude, it just rolls in the tone of it. It's such a great word to use. I employ everybody. Please use that word more often. Hashtag, let's take cunt back.
Let's take it back.
Yeah,
Huh?
let's take cunt. Let's take it back. That's the hashtag. Hashtag cunt. Let's take it back.
And if you're just hearing us for the
Yeah.
very first time, this is Ben's favorite word.
It's my favorite.
He loves to use it on sometimes the most inappropriate times. It doesn't even fit there sometimes.
I'm not here for you people. I'm here for myself. I'm here for my own entertainment and pleasure.
The pleasure.
Dude, that gay bomb must have been strong, dude, because it's been working its way into the studio through the ventilation.
So I was working on a bit all week. I got a spray bottle and I was gonna have some. I was gonna write atrazine on it, and I was gonna spray it on you. And see.
Oh, would now be a good time to grab gaydar off the wall?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, why don't you grab that? So I made gaydar, and it was hilarious. The first time we ever used this on camera, which was an old episode on an old before we started Smartly Educated, different platform. Basically, Oh, yeah. Sorry. We'll switch you over. Ah.
We have the gaydar
It's
here.
the gaydar. Yeah. It's not a metal detector wand.
See? Not me.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude, I'm pretty straight. Look at that. I love how you're purposely staying around where other things. You know what, man? You're doing it wrong. See,
I'm trying to get the metal to go off.
You're doing this wrong. You're doing it wrong. Oh, it's because you have it on silent.
Is that on vibrate for her pleasure? Look at this, straight as a whistle.
No, it's not working.
Whoa.
I wasn't holding a black long thing near his pants. There you go.
But yeah, we have the gaydar
anyways.
here for anybody who comes by.
Yeah,
check it out right there.
We have to we scan them down and make sure there's not going to be any kind of sexual ruckus.
Does it actually work?
It used to. I don't know what's up with it. Oh, it's the red button. You gotta click the red button on the side. You gotta click the little thumb. There you go.
Oh, my computer's gay.
Dude, your computer's gayer and shit. Straight.
Ben's good. Ben's
Oh,
good.
I love how you didn't even scan yourself again. You're
Ben's good.
like,
Hold
Ben's
on, hold on.
good. Hey.
Yeah, see? Look at this. Show them.
all right.
Show them. It's
No,
ain't
go a
nothing.
little lower. You're supposed to go over the crotch. I love how you're holding the tab so it doesn't beep. Gay!
I have a heart monitor.
No, dude. Everyone saw it live. Give it up for Gay Evan. All right, DJ in the house with that. Yeah, if Cody, if you're still tuned in, everything you thought about Evan before, now you know is true. He's gay. And we
I'll take
support
it.
him
We support him.
through this trying time.
Through these sad times, only 5 cents will help out one gay man.
5 cents.
Hey, if everybody donates 5 cents, it'll help out one gay man with meals. We need
Meals?
2 billion people to send 5 cents.
Oh, I thought you were about to say we need 2 billion people to mail 2 billion dildos to this guy's house.
Now that's something
'Cause
special.
this guy doesn't even know what he wants to do yet. So we got to send him every flavor of the rainbow. You got to send him the loop-de-loop dildos. You got to send him the suction face ones.
The twirly swirlies.
Dude, the twirly swirlies. You got to send him the fucking predator face hugger.
Now, if you're not telling
that's
him,
a real one right
if you're
there.
not sending him the Gape of 5,000, you're not sending him anything right. I'm telling you
Dude, if
that
you're
right
not
now.
sending
But
the Gape of 5,000.
the what?
The Gape of 5,000. We call it the hole maker.
I drop bombs every day in the bathroom. I didn't drop no gay bombs though. I'll tell you that right now,
Dude,
baby.
you dropped like 3 gay bombs, and dude, when you walked out, the toilets were singing and everything was clean.
Cody, I don't know what I've done to you, but you're hilarious when you talk shit to me.
Yes, thank you. The tiny appendage, yes. It is quite tiny for the appendage that you would hope that would not be as tiny, but it is. But like I said before, you don't use a ruler and just measure your dick. You got to do calculus, basically. You got to you got to measure from the taint all the way across the chode, and you got to.
I use the string theory personally. Mine personally goes wherever it wants to go.
I use the string theory, dude. I just tie that shit to the door.
Oh my god! Just
like
slam
losing-
it
it's
shut like losing a door, like losing a tooth.
Losing a door. Oh, dude, how hard are you slamming fucking doors? You must be slamming that closet door really hard to keep that gayness in.
I'm trying to get my
Is
clip
that what's
bigger,
going
dude.
on? Oh, fucking Clitzilla over here. That's Evan's new nickname. He's just gonna be known as Clitzilla. Hashtag Clitzilla.
Yo, dude, you can ask
Dude.
any of my
Dude.
wives, my girlfriends, anybody like that. I got a big stinking dinking hog, dude. I gotta wear at least 5 different XL condoms, Magnum style, to even put anything on it, dude. I gotta cut holes in the one of them. I tell you, I sew it, I stick it together.
Freaking Cody just jumped on there and said, "I'm shaped like a can of tuna, so I use geometry." You got to use that. What was it? What was that math called? Sacred geometry. You have to use sacred geometry to get the real measure of a man's dick. That's why. I just cracked it. That's why sacred geometry existed.
You gotta astral
It's because
project.
we had a bunch of small dick philosophers and scientists back a long time ago, before Viagra was a thing, or the peenie pumps.
We talked about penises last
Dude,
episode, and here we are again.
Dude, you
gotta give the people what the people want.
Dude, you gotta give them what they want. They want this. They want this. But no, for reals, dude, I just cracked the case. Basically, they developed sacred geometry so they could make it to where their appendages aren't as tiny while in it dual-handedly.
Dual-handedly.
Yes, dual-handedly.
Sucking on it.
Everyone just missed what Evan just did.
On purpose.
Yeah, bullshit.
That was a joke just for you.
But anyways, basically they created sacred geometry so they could, make up for their tiny appendages. And then that's why everyone thought, or was confused about sacred geometry. Like, what is the purpose of this unique math? When really, at the end of the day, it's just for figuring out how big a dick is in a very somewhat unrealistic way to soothe disruptive emotions that would put you in a bad place.
So there was
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
right.
you. It all
Absolutely
checks
right.
out.
Yeah,
I said it.
Perfect math.
Thank you.
Perfect geometry, if you will.
Dude, it's a sacred, perfect geometry.
So there was a documentary about a vegan vegetarian lifestyle called Game Changers. I don't know if anyone's heard of that before, but there is a scientist on the show who talks about meat eater diet versus a vegetarian diet, and how the vegetarian diet will help you grow your penis size by 2 inches.
Oh, really?
I immediately was like, that's bullshit. If that is a fact,
Technically, it is not true.
every dude would be like, I'm vegetarian,
Dude.
man. I'm drinking nothing but protein shakes.
Are those Brussels sprouts? Dude, those are great for your fucking penis growth.
Is that soy meat? I need that. Are those green beans? Green bean my peenie.
I'll admit, even just pretending to be a character that would be like, Brussels sprouts? I feel pretty fucking gay.
I know.
That way.
I know.
It's just like,
I had a feeling this would delve into an insane ramble about some stupid shit, and I was really excited for it. But
now you're full of regret.
No, I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. I just know the implications of the potential lethal weapon they're using, referred to as the gay bomb, that they are potentially still using on us today, would lead us into something very gay.
Can you imagine? Dude, I just thought of like, what if like, all right, so the Cuban GAY Bomb.
Yeah.
Let's say they're going to deploy it, right? They're going to go drop that motherfucker down. And they dropped it prematurely, and like maybe there was like a technical mishap, and they dropped it on a suburban neighborhood that was having a big old like fucking cookout and shit here in the States. And then like within 2 hours of that shit powdering down on them that they can't visibly see with their eyes because it's aerosol, and it's like, the fine tiny little molecules, and next thing you know, it's like cooking the steak, all that
Tyrone,
shit.
you're looking mighty thick.
Yeah, dude, like you got your wife's like ex-husband there who's like a fucking like kind of like Daddy's Home type situation with like Mark Wahlberg and shit, or in John Cena and all that crap from the second one. It'd be like that, and next thing you know, the two dudes who are mortal enemies who are always like basically having to keep at bay, next thing you know, it's like it's got the sexy saxophone guy, epic sax guy.
Yeah.
Song starts slowly fading in, and he's just in the horizon where the sun is. He's in the center of the sun doing his like saxophone dance, and the two dads just look at each other and it's like, oh, hello. And then they start to fuck in the backyard in the jumping bouncy house.
I imagined a scenario.
That's gay, dude.
Yeah, that was very gay. That was
very gay.
I
dude.
imagined a skit where the pilots of the plane, the pilot and the co-pilot, were flying it to go disperse it over the states or over the country, and there was a leak in the cabin of the actual fumes, and they inhaled it both deeply into their nostrils, and they're like, oh yeah. Wait a minute, I don't want to go drop this bomb. I want to go paint my nails.
Well, let's get up in some higher altitude instead of a little autopilot, a little alone time.
Let's go move to California. Let's go.
Oh, now we know what happened to Cali. They dropped the Cuban gay bomb there first.
They're the test site. California's the test site for everything. They're 15 years ahead of everything.
I mean, they were definitely ahead of the curve on Bidenomics. That's for sure.
And legalizing drugs and shit in the street. Anyway.
Poop in the streets. There's a lot of dookie in those streets from the homeless, dude.
Imagine the dire straits you have to be in to just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking shit on this curb. I'm just gonna do it. I saw a dude in Colorado do that one time. I was baffled.
Yeah. Sorry, I just thought of another scenario. What if like there's an active war zone going on, right? And we got U.S. troops down there and like in ground, on foot, actually engaging in ground warfare, and it's like up close, like danger close type situation.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot,
and
we gotta
they're all like attacking and like like you got dudes like on top of the other guy like trying to like bash his brains in with the fucking butt of his rifle or some shit or whatever, and then all of a sudden the aerosol comes flowing through, and next thing you know, all you hear is like grunting and screaming and like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and blah, blah, blah. And the gunshots fade off. The bombs in the distance fade away as well. Next thing you know, it goes, rah, rah,
It's only more grunts.
That's all you hear is, ow!
Ow! Oh, first timer!
Oh, I'm regretting this decision.
Oh!
Oh, dude.
That's why I think the insect bomb is way more realistic.
Everything just transforms from and all of a sudden and then all of a sudden oh. What if only certain people were affected to it?
The shots fade away and all you hear is macaroni stirring. Thanks, Cody.
Oh, dude. Oh, you got that one guy that's just got a little bit too much air compression suction. Only it's like loud, dude. It's like a big old smack on there, dude. That's what's happening. Oh, I still have the camera on you. Look at him chug that stuff like a dude.
I got my giant sippy cup over here, boys.
He's practicing when he gets that BBC finally.
What's the issue with having a giant cup, guys? What's the issue? Is it the sippy cup aspect or just a big cup?
That's just that dude. That's a dinghy. That's a dinghy, dude. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
You gotta stay hydrated, brother.
You gotta stay hydrated.
It's important to have your liquids. It's important to have your things in your life that make you healthy and happy.
Oh yeah.
Mine is snuffing.
Snuffing.
Mine's snuffing atrazine deep into my ass. It's good. Fuck you, Cody.
What do you say?
Hey, it's a 1 gallon jug. If I can carry a 5 gallon jug around, I totally would.
No, dude, I'm with Cody on this. You just like walk around with a Home Depot bucket.
I got my gun. I got
ones,
my battery weapon on me, dude. I got
dude,
my mallet.
Man, if you got yourself an orange Home Depot bucket, 5 gallon, you would never forget it. It's hazard color. You're gonna see it. You'll never forget it in the studio again.
One arm would be gigantic.
One arm.
I'd be holding it with one arm walking around, just like.
Hey, can you tell what arm he jerks off with, everybody?
It's my feet.
Dude, my toes.
I got chiseled toes.
Dude, my toes got biceps for days. Dude, when they curl, it inflates 1,000 beach balls at once.
Oh shit!
Dude, that's how you know I'm on the beach. When I step there, all the deflated beach balls just pop right the fuck up. Same with the husbands. Wait, oh, that's you, but that's accurate. Because you had your little... Dude, that thermos you're carrying around right now, that's a gay bomb, dude.
That's a gay bomb.
Dude, the way you have to slurp on it and fucking jug back and forth, like...
Ain't nobody jugging back and forth.
Dude, you're getting
on it.
liquid out of it prematurely sometimes.
That's not how that works.
Sounds like a little bit of pre-C, if you get what I'm saying.
Listen, Ben,
Just
if you're
saying.
looking at my jug like something that you want to be, think again, you gay boy.
Oh, dude.
I suck on that nipple over here.
Some say Evans canister is like shucking gray water from a natural spring's tit itself.
I mean, the straw mouthpiece is the same size as me, so I gotta just imagine it.
I can't do it. It's a little too gay for me now. It's a little too gay. Just kidding. Let's up the ante.
Let's up the ante.
Let's really put a fucked up scenario out there. 20 dudes, you at the same time, and they're not being friendly about it. That's your fantasy. Because the gay bomb affected you. Because what your parents didn't tell you is they took a trip to Cuba a long time ago. You were with them. They just went and saw some people with the MK Ultra groups, and they're like, hey, I need you to fuck up his memories. They can't know we turned them gay. And then they go there, and they do it. Sorry, dude, you're gay.
Ay caramba. Ay caramba. Si se puede. See, I'm Cuban.
It's what they're gonna talk like this.
All I need is a cigar now. There we go. A little Cuban cigaro.
Pink.
No, dude.
It's gotta have a pink.
It's gotta
seal
match
on it.
my shirt, huh?
Yeah, dude, it's gonna match this shirt, dude. Dude, you should dye your beard pink.
I'm definitely not gonna do that. That
Dude,
is
temporary dye. You'd be all right.
like
Gay prides once a year for like a whole fucking month. You fit right in for a whole month, dude.
I don't even want to fit in for
Dude,
a day.
I'll buy you a round trip plane ticket to Cali.
I already find
And
myself.
I'm gonna make sure you fly in on the 1st of that month and you fly out on the last, so you can be with your brethren. Well, wait, I can't say brethren, can I?
Why not?
I'm not supposed to assume pronouns that are made up. Wait,
You can say it. I don't give a damn.
Wiz/erd. Wizard. Oh, the wizard with the tiny appendage is what Cody was alluding to last time.
Yeah.
The whiz.
We talked about wieners last episode. We're talking about them this episode. Hopefully, next episode we don't talk
You know
about
what?
wieners again.
We should give a PSA, just so everyone knows. Our motto here at Smartly and Educated is the following. A surprise penis is never a good penis.
Never a good penis.
Yeah.
Oh shit! What the?
When my dick get out, I had no idea.
That happened to me. So that happened to me at the gym the other day. I was
spotting you, put his dick on your forehead.
God no, that's fighting, dude. I'd be fighting somebody after that.
You be biting at it. Get it out of here. Why is this shit like a Slim Jim? What the fuck's happening? It's so squishy.
No, I was changing after I hit the sauna. When I was changing, and this.
Oh, dude, this is like a start to a porno.
And there was 3 dudes standing in a circle, hogs out.
You're not
chit-chatting.
helping here at all.
And I gotta know, at what point in your fitness career do you get so confident that you and your boys stand around, hogs out, just fucking chit chatting, dude?
I mean, dudes who have used it together play together.
I personally, I don't think I'll ever be ununderweared around you.
I would hope
I
not.
love you, Ben. I appreciate you. I love you, but I will never take my underwear off around you.
This just in, everybody. Evan's going to be doing the next podcast episode with no pants on. You won't be able to see
every
it because the
episode.
camera won't view it. I will make sure to mount the camera below
Underneath.
the table, so you can see that feral hog. Because as you can tell by that arms and chest, everybody, you know what to expect with the bush.
Yeah.
Hey, man, this topic was the Cuban gay bomb. You got to get a little gay with it.
Well, you don't have to. You can get a little conspiracy with it as well,
It's
considering
fun.
the idea. It's very fun.
It's fun.
But considering the aspects around it, right?
Yeah.
You can get a little gay. Wait.
Considering the aspect, you can get a little gay about it. That's cool.
I mean, you got a lot of thought-provoking concepts. I know we had RFK Jr. and Alex Jones ranting and raving about atrazine being a part of the water that's turning people more feminine, and then I find this document and this concept, and it's like atrazine was used in 1994 and 2003 to bomb and turn people feminine. I was like, wait a second, okay, maybe they have even more volition to this. Maybe the validity to the aspect of it is all much more blown out of proportion. What are you laughing about?
I just had a funny thought. I was waiting until you're done.
Give it to me, baby.
Dude, what if this whole project got scrapped, right? They scrapped the whole Cuban gay bomb thing, but the secretive parts about it got leaked out, and then people did utilize it. But what if the people who were actually utilizing it were like relationship counselors? They use it at like dinner parties with like multiple of their patients in one room, and they just dose everybody in their glasses.
That's funny.
Cause some relationship issues, you know what I mean?
That's funny.
And then next thing you know, they're coming right back to therapy and they making that motherfucking money.
Do you
Right?
think
Oh.
that the gay bomb chemical turns women gay as well, or is it just men?
Well, according to the agents that are in it, it's gonna affect everybody.
It affects both, right?
Yeah, dude. Next thing you know, they stop getting their period.
I think that's exactly right. So it affects
And then
their
all
menstruation and
I
their
can
birth
hear,
rates.
and then next thing I know, I heard all the women around the world going, "Fuck yeah," because I don't have to deal with that bullshit
Let me
once a
huff
month. Like I don't have to go and buy fuckloads of Midol. Cool, I don't have to deal with a heavy fucking flow. Oh, cool, Aunt Flo can go fuck herself. She doesn't have to be in the equation anymore. Yay!
Can I read some more of these funny IG Nobel
Read it
Prize
to me.
winners?
I thought my relationship counselor joke was.
It was really good. It was a banger. It hit well.
Dude, I love it. Banging.
I loved it. I ate it up. I slurped it up, and I'm living in it.
There's so much gay going
So
around.
the aviation prize out of Argentina for the IG Nobel Prize. There's a man named, well, I guess it's a woman, I don't know. It's Patricia V. Agostino.
Patty Mayonnaise.
And Patty Mayonnaise.
Patty
What is this,
Mayonnaise.
Doug?
Fuck yeah, dude, Doug. If you don't even know who Doug is, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's Skeeter.
If you, dude, you fucking skeeters. Fuck.
I hate mosquitoes.
I love skeeting though, dude.
I saw a meme reel the other day of mosquitoes getting killed in thousands of different ways, and the funniest
hell
one
yeah.
was somebody put it in like a flat iron and just squished it flat. I thought it was funny, but somebody got a prize for discovering that Viagra aids in jet lag recovery in hamsters.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty good.
That's so very interesting.
You think so, huh?
I know so. Dude, I know so. You have no idea.
There's so many of them. I'm trying to find some funny ones. I've conducted experiments to learn why people dislike the sound of fingernails on blackboards. I can tell you
Yeah.
why, because it sucks.
Because it sucks. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
That one specifically, no.
Do you know what if you went with some of the like what if there's like some ridiculous conspiracy theories out there about the Cuban gay bomb? What if like I don't know, Cuba must have already been like, stockpiling their own gay weapons. Cause how else do you explain all those salsa clubs?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Hi, Hungary, I'm Dad. What? What? My bad.
There was a scientific study that was conducting a careful experiment to settle the long-standing scientific question at the University of Wisconsin and the University of Minnesota. The question was, can people swim faster in syrup or water? How much syrup did they have to put in a pool for somebody to be able to swim in that? Hundreds and hundreds of gallons, I imagine. But yeah, so take what you will about this gay bomb, but the IG Nobel Prize is absolutely hysterical. All of the different funny and thought-provoking concepts in here. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so one of the other things people need to keep in mind too, this also does technically tie, because I just thought of it. It does also tie into MK Ultra.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get into that aspect.
Well, it does, because where do you think they got the knowledge for constructing this?
Yeah.
Because one of the other sides of MK Ultra, and in case y'all, didn't know or anything like that, which we have a full deep dive episode. Like, we do not hold back any fun. That's an intense episode.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
there's
good.
like
It's
no
really good.
jokes in it.
It's very serious.
Very serious. But basically, like, there are documented cases of like agents, basically CIA, these CIA spooks, basically hypnotizing these poor bastards, men and women, and forcing them to, like, just to test that they could control the person, made them engage in sexual acts while under this hypnosis and the cocktail of drugs that they were pumping into them. And that's not even including like the frequency stuff, because then they learned that they could do it with frequencies, and all they would have to do is make sure that they had the drug could be administered differently instead of being like put in a drink or aerosol. They could administer it in other ways.
Absolutely.
Just touching something, and then as long as they have that frequency deal that would because they learned how, because there's a whole thing with that. I'm not going to go into it, but with frequencies, and especially in MK Ultra and Project Pandora, Naomi, even Delta, all of them have to do with it to some degree, but MK Ultra and Pandora heavily, basically what they did is they figured out how to manipulate very precise frequencies and pinpoint it to manipulate your brain. So if you add in a chemical agent and these other things that are mind altering to you, and then, you know, apparently they figured out, because there's all these testimony, you know, there's evidence 100 across the board with it, that basically they would use the frequency to basically control the chemical interaction in the body to get the desired result they want. So this does tie into MK Ultra in that way. I've said it like a million times in the past when we've talked about different things, that a lot of these projects that you end up finding out about, you think they're completely separate. But then as you dig into this shit and you go down the rabbit hole, you find out, oh, the only reason they were able actually to pull off this project is because of one tiny piece of, you know, results that they got from this other project, and they just took that finite piece and added it to this project because they already had the data and they already knew it worked. If they didn't have those pieces, a lot of these projects would have never even been successful in any capacity and would have been thrown away. But unfortunately, they paved the way very well with all these different projects, and they were successful. Even if they were not successful with the overall point of the project, they found success in majority of the work applying certain elements to other things.
And then they would take the research that they got, say, from MK Ultra or MK Often or any of the LSD projects, and then implement that into another sort of aspect, right? Much like the gay bomb that you were just mentioning. One prime example of how these sort of bombs and pheromone bombs was used was the Battle of Tanga. I'm not sure if you've heard of the Battle of Tanga, but in the list of the non-lethal bombs, you had the bad breath bomb, the fart bomb, the gay bomb, the bug bomb. The bug bomb, everybody is speculating was actually used.
Yeah, Cody dropped a thing in the chat here, and he says that Luigi Mangione is part of MK Ultra. Can't tell me otherwise. You know, man, you're probably not far off base. I'll be honest. You're probably not far off base, because there's a lot of things about that story, more I dig into it, that just don't add up.
A lot of it doesn't add up.
Like even the gritty, because, you know, sometimes you see a story come across, especially one like that has to do with what he did, you know, with the killing the CEO
with
of the
murder
thing, right? Supposedly, allegedly, right? Well, the thing is that these, you know, a lot of the time when you hear story and new headlines about that stuff, you think, hey, this is what's going on, this is reported. But as you start to read into some things, if you actually start to put a microscope on that stuff, you know, in particular cases or whatever, you'll end up running across where you see that shit don't line up compared to what the media is saying and what the police are giving statements on. But yet all the shit found that it doesn't take a fucking, you don't need a PhD in bullshit to see, to know bullshit when you see it. Especially if you're a decently grounded individual and you have decent common sense, you don't need a PhD in bullshit to see it and identify it and understand it. So with that being said, it's not outside the realm of possibility. It wouldn't surprise me if he was. I know that, sorry, I'm going to not sign tangent to the Luigi thing because there's that's a whole
it's a whole can of worms. But I don't
yeah.
A lot of it's so stinking fishy, and it's still so new that a lot of evidence and things will come up during his court dates and his hearings that will bring a light to a lot of these aspects.
Well, what I'm concerned about is entertaining the idea if he was some form of a modern day MK Ultra program that happened and he was influenced or whatever, because now they don't even have to take you and took you to a chair. They literally just use frequencies to fuck with your head,
especially if you're under psychedelic drugs.
Psychedelic drugs are a huge amplifier.
This guy Luigi, apparently before he went on this rampage or this murder this murder spree, whatever you want to call it, this murder, he did ayahuasca and then was gone for 3 months. So it's quite potential. Has a lot of potential to be brainwashed in that aspect after the fact.
Yeah, because if he was getting exposed to those frequencies while that stuff was happening
even
from his phone
a
or
month
whatever,
later,
you know.
right? Even a month later.
Yeah,
So-
because they can use your phone's they can change your phone's frequencies, the signal it's putting out.
Yeah,
Because your
absolutely.
phone puts out many different signals all at once, not just
and constantly.
one or two.
But yeah.
So yeah, it's anyways. That's a whole other thing. But if you're curious about the MK Ultra stuff, we have a full episode.
We can always
watch
talk about it again.
We can always
too.
talk about it
If
again.
y'all are
too, yeah.
really seriously interested about it, comment on us, send us a message. And if y'all really want us to deep dive back into MK Ultra, we would be glad to do that.
Yeah,
It's a very fascinating deep dive topic.
And just a forewarning, the MK Ultra episode, I believe, is like a 2.5, almost 3
It's very
hour
long. It is
episode.
very long.
But it's like nonstop. Like there's no lull moments. There's no jokes like at all, really. Like it's just go, go, go. It's a very serious toned episode, but it's very informative because we go into the shit. We go in, a lot of shit. Sorry, you were about to say something?
No, I was just smiling at the camera.
Look at you smiling at that camera.
Before we talked about Luigi briefly there, I was going to say that during those 4 different bombs that I listed off at the very top of the show, there was a Battle of Tonga that people are believing that the insect bomb was actually used. Because the 98th Infantry for the German militia was attacked by a humongous swarm of bees and ran them out of combat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's simply that's that, right? I mean, they were in a combat for like 3 days, fighting, and then suddenly they got attacked by a numerous amount of bees and then ran them off, which I think is a pure example of something that could be used.
Yeah. Well, hey, just to put something into perspective for you guys, when it comes to like the human,
Granted, it was 1914, but
I almost said the human gay bomb. Well, I mean, you might as
Not
well
far
just,
off,
you might as well just
right, not
call
far
it that.
off.
But the Cuban gay bomb itself, one of the things about it was that, so it took place in the, where'd it go? I just had it up. It took place, so just to kind of put things into perspective of like how they got to this point, of like trying to make the the Cuban gay bomb. So basically ever since the mid 20th century, oh, my bad. Let me scroll back down. I just went past it. I don't know how I went past it. Basically, since the mid 20th century, scientists and like psychologists and things like that have been experimenting with this. So if you don't know what the mid 20th century, like what year outline that is, it's basically like just think like mid 1930s ish, all the way up until like basically like the space exploration time, so like the 60s. So like between the 30s to like the 60s going into the early 70s was basically the mid 20th century.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what you're talking about. I got a text from my wife and I was looking at that.
My bad.
To be honest. But I'm sure the fans out there listening, people out there who are watching us, definitely know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to pull up what I was about to say. There was this thing on there and now I can't find it.
That's fair.
And it's driving me nuts because it was right there. Sorry, I'll switch it back over to you.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, the aspect of I'm just, y'all, come on. Look around you. Everything's super gay. I mean, if they are teaching your children in school that being gay is okay, it is. It is not. I, for one, don't think it's a big problem until it becomes the epidemic that it has become. And then we
Start fucking with kids. That's where the problem is.
That's when
Don't
I have
fuck
a
with my
problem.
kids.
That's when I have the
If
problem.
you want to be gay and you want to like, if you choose that lifestyle where you can't reproduce naturally at this point and your only option is to go and find someone else's kid or foster care or adoption, whatever the fuck it is,
Kidnap.
you have no like the fact that this is a thing where people are manipulating these kids, like, because I have a friend who I grew up with. He's one of my close friends actually, and he came out gay, and which I called that shit back in the dude. I told him to his fucking face in high school. I was like, dude, it's okay if you're gay.
We love you.
Like, I still love you. You're still my bro, but just I'm not bending over near you. That's for sure. We used to make jokes like that, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that, like he is married to a guy and they have kids and I know them personally. And I can tell you right now, I don't believe it's every rule I don't think it always applies to like, oh, if you like a stereotype where it's like, oh, it's two gay people doing whatever, raising kids, it's going to cause a problem. I think on a psychological level, I think having a male and female role that raises you is healthier. And that's a whole other can of worms to open when it comes to the psychology side of it, because I've done a lot of research into it. But the thing is that like I would call them an outlier for the most part, but that's just because I know them. I grew up with them. Like I know this guy, and I got to know his husband, stuff like that. Like they do not mistreat their kids, and they don't try to tell them what they are, tell the child what the child thinks he is. They don't do any of that bullshit where they try to like tell them like, oh no, you're a girl when he's a biological boy. They don't do that shit. They're kids. They're actually really good people, but that's an outlier because I have noticed that the majority, but overall, if you're gay and you're watching this, it's just facts. I'm gonna tell you, fuck your feelings. But the thing is that like it won't. There's a lot of problems that happen, and hell, there was just a case last week where they found that these two. It was I saw a post on X about it, and I went and found the actual news about it. Apparently, this gay couple adopted these kids and then were sexually abusing them.
Yes, they were. I saw that.
Yeah, fuck those people. They should get shot in the fucking head. That's my personal opinion.
I know it is.
Why waste my tax dollars on them?
Well, we could put them to work in the fields.
No, fuck that. Just put a bolt in their head and get rid of it. Anyone who's a predator towards kids, fuck yourself. And the whole fucking movement about, oh, hey, well, let's relabel the child molesters and call them minor attracted person.
That shit's
fuck your own
insane.
self.
That's
if I hear any
insane.
dumb cunt say that, see, you got me saying
insane.
cunt again. You say any dumb cunt says that bullshit in front of me, I don't give a fuck. Fuck those people. I will enjoy being able to make them feel like a piece of shit.
Well, Ben, hold on. I'm attracted to the minor chord on the guitar. Is that a problem?
It is when you put the word minor in there, motherfucker.
Well, you have minor, major, diminished, so on and so forth. I gotta say A minor.
Yeah.
It's a chord on the guitar. Fuck off.
That was a bad joke.
It was a great joke.
It was a great joke.
Everybody loved it.
Everybody loved it. We all know it. But yeah, so it anyways, I'm gonna digress from this, but basically there's facts with that, but that's a whole topic for another time. Because that's another
can of words,
that's
can of
a
worms,
huge
and
can
so
of
on.
worms. Yeah.
But the overlying aspect of what I wanted to bring to this table of the gay bomb conspiracy and concept was the fact that the Pentagon had it at its desk. The United States Air Force is the one that brought it to the attention. All of these sort of links, look at the red string going across the map, right? You have Pentagon, CIA, FBI, paperwork from the Air Force, then you have HARP, then you have rise in homosexuality since 2003. All of these things they feel so correlated. I don't see any other way that it couldn't be.
Yeah.
This is simply
Trying to be smart. Yeah.
This is simply what information is given to us. You can take it as you will. You can take it as fact. You can take it as fiction. But typically, when the CIA documents things, that means that they've tried it, that they've done it, and that it has worked.
Yeah.
More often than not, if the items that they're doing, like the programs that they're putting in place, take MK Ultra for example, or this homosexual revelation, I don't know what you would call it, or what the article is referring to as, but these people are putting it into play so that you would then think that it's our problem, that we are the problem, right? Mm-hmm. So they are trying to sociologically and psychologically damage you to think that we are having the biggest epidemic and problem of our society, when in reality they are fucking. It's Yuri Bezmenov, dude.
Fourth stage of ideological subversion.
Full bore and full round circle to Yuri Bezmenov.
Yep.
I sure wish that we would have taken Yuri much more serious in the 50s and 60s, because holy shit.
Yeah, he said all this would happen. He called it out in the exact time frames too, which is fucked up. We're in the middle of it right now.
Well, yeah.
Or at the
we're near the end.
We're near the end of one of the last stages.
Yeah, Yuri Bezmenov, for those who don't know, gave a 4-step progress on how the Russians are going to tear apart America from the inside out, using our own government and our own individuals.
Yeah, and they've been doing this. They implemented it in the 50s.
Yeah.
Is when it got implemented because it's
If I'm remembering correctly, it was the 50s because it takes 40 to 60 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, 40 to 60 years, and then now we're at the end of the final stage because we literally are the result of all 4 stages now.
Correct. And it sounds like through all of these different aspects of FOIA and different projects and programs, they were attempting to fast track this idea.
They were.
Having the gay bomb, if you will, having the homophobic revelation program with the CIA. I don't know what it's called, but that's what I'm going with. And then having all these different aspects of transhumanism, dude.
I mean, you have to remember
it's all together.
Like I was saying earlier, they've been doing conversion therapy. They've been experimenting with conversion therapy, like I said, since the mid 20th century, which is basically 1930s, somewhere in there, all the way until basically the end of the 60s, going in the beginning of 70s, maybe.
That's right.
And that was the mid 20th century. And they were literally started doing conversion therapy experiments on individuals to find out if they could turn someone gay, change their sexual orientation mentally. And they started doing that in the 30s. Yeah. That's when it first started. That is a documented thing. It's irrefutable. Like the facts are there, and it has grown since then. And they've just developed new methods from trial by fire, experimentation. And then things progressed and it got branched in all these different projects where all these different results from one source, at this stage ended up getting implemented in this project because it was, they found that to be successful, but then they got success out of this project to produce whatever. And then they take some of those results and things that did work and bring it over to this project. Yeah. It's all a big spider web. We need to be like System of a Down and wake up. Is that better? I don't even know the fucking lyrics to that part.
Wake up.
Grab your brush
and put on a little bit of makeup.
I like the goat version better.
Yeah, me too. It's fun.
Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, I mean,
I love it.
If you're not aware that you're being manipulated, hopefully you have just learned a little bit of an aspect now. They're putting it in your TV shows. They're putting it in your water. They're putting it in the air that you breathe. They're putting it in everything.
Yep. And I know we're pretty much hitting the closing for the most part, but I wanted to say something because we're about to, since we're pretty much wrapping it up. Hey, that's what she said. Wait.
Yeah, dude, with my 4XL Magnum condoms, dude, I'm wrapping it up, baby.
Yeah, you need those 4XL Magnum condoms for that dinker you got over there.
My fucking hog sinker, dude. My torpedo, my submarine, baby.
Dude, that gay bomb went off.
Fuck you, Cody. I ain't got no tiny, teeny, peeny, weeny.
Cody's about to lay down the fire. He's going to summon the...
Grandma should put on a little makeup. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Oh, he's right. I don't know. I'm just going to take your word for it.
Wake up. Grandma should put on a little bit of makeup. It's because she wanted to.
It's because she wanted to. It's a good one. But I did want to say that, now I don't even remember what I was going to say since we're near the end. There was something I was about to say. Now I can't fucking remember.
Yeah, you were near the end. We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the spiderweb thing and all that stuff. What if anyone is interested by this the narrative? And I know we ended up dropping a few other names of different topics because they obviously intertwined, because you can cherry branch.
A lot of these things intertwine.
But the thing is that if you're curious about any of the ones that we just listed, like MK Ultra, I know I mentioned earlier we did an episode, but there's a plethora of other episodes that we did that cover other off the book. I mean, secretive things that have come to light.
Like Project Mockingbird. I mean, Cody DM'd us a minute ago talking about Project Mockingbird and Luigi and Lee Harvey Oswald coercion and how they look so much alike in the aspects of it all, right? So all of these things are intertwined like a big spider web. So
yep. Well, they say that
the more you know.
History repeats itself because of basically universe recycling. If that's
I mean, it goes back to the Taurus, dude.
Yeah, if it goes back to the Taurus and everything we've learned about that, and it ends up being 100%, even if it's only 50% true, in aspects of the energy being recycled in the universe due to the cosmic egg model and things like that, well, that would explain. And when you look through history, you end up finding these people that look like doppelgangers.
Exactly like. Right?
And it's just like this big rinse repeat thing. Now, granted, Luigi killed a CEO allegedly, but
Lee killed the
if you're gonna,
president.
yeah, he killed the president of the United
Apparently.
States. Now the question is that like you want to say, well, you're comparing a CEO to the president of the United States. The president probably has more power. Well, it just depends what CEO of what fucking company, and the company that this happened with. Well, I'd like to say that motherfucker has more power over people than the fucking president does. I'm talking about worldwide.
More times than not.
Yeah, so because it can, yeah. So with that being said, and the whole concept of the universe recycling itself, and then that's how you have these repeats of things.
So
in to some extent,
on the topic of the torus,
yeah, it would just make sense.
I read a document the other day that described how computers work, and they go off of binaries, zeros and ones, and then quantum mechanics go off of 0, 1 at the same exact time.
Yeah.
The torus, when it's on its side and the side of its plane, is a circle and a 1 at the same time.
Man, you stole my thunder.
So quantum computing is literally using the torus to travel through space and time.
Yeah, for processing capability. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, that's how it's able to do it so fast, because it's basically going in the same sequence that apparently the universe functions in. Yeah, it's insane to think about.
It's very awesome.
And it just makes me wonder, because one of the other things, I know I brought up the recycling of the universe, and then you're talking about now the quantum computing and all that stuff. One of the what was that device called at the Vatican? I believe it was
the coronavisor.
The coronavisor that supposedly exists, right? If you think about it, so let's entertain a narrative real quick. Let's say that, because like I've said before a million times on this fucking podcast, and you've said it too.
Say it again.
If we're just now hearing about the technology, that means we're 40 years minimum, give or take, anywhere between 20 to 40 years, maybe a little bit more behind.
That's right.
It just depends on, what it is. What technology are we talking about? But rule of thumb, typically 20 to 40 or maybe even more. We don't know anything about it and don't even get to see it and know it really exists. But yet we know about the technology because people whistleblow, and then of course everyone gets labeled as a conspiracy theorist,
or they
crazy, or they die or whatever. But then all of a sudden, 20, 30 years later, boop, it's in the public, and then guess what happens? Oh, something got declassified and shows that it was actually created
1920.
Like the guy who whistleblowed on it, it was just like, oh, this guy was actually telling the truth to a T, all the way down to the tiniest little decibel.
It's happened over and over and over again, and it will continue to happen until there's some sort of technological breakthrough that they cannot hide from, and they cannot put behind smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
And I truly think that's going to be quantum computing and AI robots.
Yeah.
Once they become so powerful and used in synchronicity, that there's not going to be any way to hide sort of the technology that they're doing.
Oh yeah, and but the reason I brought up the universe and the recycling and the quantum computing and like all that shit, right? It's one of those deals where it's like, if we are tapping into that, like, because going into the coronavisor, why I brought that up, sorry, I got sidetracked. The reason I even brought that up is because apparently it's a piece of technology, right? That someone whistleblowed about a while back, and they all denied it, but now the Vatican doesn't even deny it, right? And people are becoming aware that there is an item called the coronavisor for sure that does exist. Whether or not it does the things that they claim, who fucking knows? You won't know until you get to actually fucking do it yourself. But the thing is that, like, what if that technology, all it's doing is utilizing the math of the torus and basically allowing the person who's using it to look through, they're basically looking through frequencies, and they're able actually to see back in different points in time, because time is not, from everything we've researched and talked about, it's not linear. So it's like everywhere, everything all at once, but depending on what vibrational plane of existence you are in and your body's attuned to or tuned into, well,
that's why time travel's real, right?
Yeah, in that regard, right?
Yeah.
So it just makes me wonder, if the coronavisor does exist, I wonder if they're using some type of something like that as what makes it work, right? Because you're able to tap into it and basically go through the frequency patterns and the energy flow of everything. And yeah, and then it just, you end up being able to go back through the recycling, or you're not even going through the recycling process. You're just looking through a different lens of frequency in order to see that pinpointed moment. It just makes me wonder. I have no idea, just speculating, but that's all I really got on that. You got anything else? Because I've got nothing.
No,
else.
I'm plumb out of ideas here. I mean, I've talked it over and over again on this episode about sort of my sort of viewpoints and the idea of what we overlyingly we're talking about here. Overlyingly, that's not the proper term, is it? Over like a blanket statement. What's that word?
Analyzing.
Yeah. Well, analyzing. Yeah. Over something like that.
Overcompensating.
Something like that. That's what I'm doing every day. But with that said, if you hear the sound of our voice and you're new here and you like what we had to say and you liked what we were talked about and you had fun, go feel free to subscribe, follow along with us. We do this every week live and we repost it every Thursday to our social medias so that you can rewatch it if you like. And if you want to send us an email at smartlyuneducated@gmail.com. It is a real email.
Oh, yeah,
we will
real.
read it, and we typically like to read them on air whenever we receive them. So if you want to send us an email, DM us, message us, whatever, we are always around to talk to you. It's always going to be a fun time. So,
I would like to add to your little closing bit
Please.
on what you just said. If anyone watching right now, if this was not your cup of tea, for topic wise or even the jokes wise, well, tough shit, go watch something else. You can we have tons of other episodes that just we literally talk about anything and everything, so we have a broad range of fucking topics that we've dived into. And they're one of those may be your shade of the rainbow.
Nothing's off topics here. So
yeah,
thank you again for joining us. We'll probably see you next Friday or Saturday, so stick tuned. We post it in the middle of the week whenever we're gonna go live, so we'll see you later. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, everyone have a good night.
Adios.
See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Fingers on the trigger, they pull without a sound. Behind the glass towers, we're buried underground. Secrets in the shadows, locked inside the mind. MK Ultra memories don't keep us blind. Static on the screen, voices we don't see. Dumpers got us wired, but we're breaking free. They're watching.